Right now, you're sitting somewhere comfortable. Maybe a couch, maybe your bed. Your hair is clean. You shampooed it this morning without thinking. You ran a comb through it in maybe 30 seconds. Your scalp feels fine. Normal. Invisible to you. Now rewind 10,000 years. You're sitting in the same position, but your fingers are buried in your child's hair. You're not styling it. You're hunting, pulling tiny flat-bodied parasites from behind their ears, crushing them between your thumbnails one by one, and you'll do this again tomorrow and the day after that for your entire life. So the question is deceptively simple. For hundreds of thousands of years, with no shampoo, no fine-toothed combs, no chemical treatments, how did ancient humans deal with lice? Let's start with something uncomfortable. You have a relationship with lice. A deep one. Not you personally. Your species. Lice have been feeding on human blood for so long that they've evolved specifically to live on you and nothing else. In 2004, a geneticist named David Reed at the University of Florida ran DNA analysis on human head lice and body lice. He found they diverged roughly 170,000 years ago. That date matters. It roughly lines up with when humans started wearing clothing. The lice literally split into two species because we gave them a new habitat. One stayed on the head, the other colonized our clothes. Think about that for a second. Lice have been on us so long they've speciated. They've had time to evolve entirely new body plans. Head lice have claws shaped to grip round hair shafts. Body lice have claws shaped to grip fabric fibers. We didn't just carry them. We shaped them. They are a mirror of our own evolution. And here's what nobody tells you about lice in the ancient world. They weren't a failure of hygiene. They were essentially universal. Every culture on Earth had them. Every social class, every climate zone. A 2,000-year-old wooden comb pulled from the Israeli site of Lachish still had lice eggs cemented to its teeth. Archaeologists at Antinoe in Egypt found lice on mummified scalps. Knit combs have been found in Roman military camps, Viking burials, Peruvian tombs dating back 10,000 years. Lice didn't discriminate. They were just part of being human. So what did people actually do? The first weapon was fingers. Pure manual removal. And it worked better than you'd think. In many cultures, grooming wasn't a solo act. It was social, communal, deeply intimate. Across sub-Saharan Africa, Southeast Asia, and Amazonia, mutual delousing was documented for centuries. Mothers picked through children's hair. Friends groomed each other. Partners did it as bonding. If you've seen primates doing this, you already understand it's the same behavior, literally the same evolutionary route. Robin Dunbar at Oxford has argued that human language itself may have evolved partly to replace social grooming. When groups got too large for everyone to physically groom each other, we started talking instead. Grooming was medicine. Grooming was love. Grooming was politics. A person nobody groomed was a person truly alone. But fingers have limits. You can catch adults, you can feel the nits, but lice lay 6 to 10 eggs a day. Each one is glued to the hair shaft with a cement so strong it survives washing, brushing, and even death. Miss a few nits and you're back to square one in a week. Here's the part nobody talks about. Ancient humans figured out chemistry long before chemistry existed. They experimented with everything they had. And some of it was shockingly effective. The Aber's papyrus, written in Egypt around 1550 BCE, prescribes a mixture of date meal and water heated and applied to the scalp. Other Egyptian remedies used fat from specific animals mixed with plant oils. Pliny the Elder, writing in Rome around 77 CE, recommended wild cucumber juice. He also suggested dog fat. The Chinese text Wu Shi Er Bing Feng, found in a tomb at Mawangdui, dating to around 168 BCE, lists mercury-based compounds for parasites. Mercury. They didn't know the word toxic, but they knew lice died. Some of these treatments were basically insecticides, plant-derived ones especially. Neem oil, used across South Asia for millennia, contains azadirachtin. That's a compound that disrupts insect growth hormones. Ancient people didn't know the mechanism. They just knew it worked. Crushed chrysanthemum flowers produce pyrethrin. That's the same active ingredient in modern lice shampoo. Persians and Central Asians used it centuries ago. They figured out the formula through trial and painful error. Now here's where it gets clever. Really clever. Some cultures didn't fight lice directly. They changed the battlefield. Head shaving. It sounds extreme. It wasn't. In ancient Egypt, shaving the head was standard practice across classes. Priests shaved completely. Children had shaved heads with a single sidelock. Adults wore wigs made from human hair, sheep wool, or plant fiber. Herodotus wrote about this in the 5th century BCE. He noted that Egyptians shaved for cleanliness. And he was right. A shaved head is a dead zone for lice. No hair means no grip. No grip means no colony. But Egypt wasn't alone. Buddhist monks shaved their heads partly for spiritual reasons, but partly practical ones. Roman soldiers in some legions kept hair short. Indigenous communities in tropical regions often maintained shorter hair. The pattern repeats across continents. Here's what doesn't make sense until you think about it. Wigs seem counterproductive. You remove your real hair, then put fake hair on, but wigs could be removed, boiled, treated, beaten against stones. You can't boil your own scalp. You can boil a wig. Lice infested the wig? Take it off, clean it, put it back on tomorrow. The wig turned your hair into a removable, washable organ. That's not primitive thinking. That's engineering. Now let's talk about what happened when nothing worked. Because sometimes nothing did. Lice aren't just itchy. Heavy infestations cause real damage. Constant scratching opens wounds. Open wounds invite bacterial infection. A condition called pediculosis, just a fancy word for severe lice infestation, can lead to thickened, darkened skin, matted hair, secondary infections that spread. In extreme cases, body lice carry diseases: epidemic typhus, trench fever, relapsing fever. These killed millions throughout history. During Napoleon's 1812 retreat from Moscow, typhus carried by body lice killed more soldiers than combat did. Some historians estimate the Grande Armée lost over 300,000 men to disease. Lice were the real enemy. Not the Russian winter, not the Cossacks. Lice. In the trenches of World War I, body lice were so pervasive, soldiers called them cooties. The word stuck. That's where it comes from. A cute children's word born from genuine misery. Soldiers would run candle flames along the seams of their uniforms. They called it chatting. Lice eggs cracked in the heat with a tiny pop. That sound became the background noise of war. Now, pull back, way back. Think about what lice actually represent in the human story. They are perhaps the oldest continuous companion species we have. Older than dogs, older than grain, older than fire, possibly. A 2024 study from the University of Reading pushed louse-human association back potentially millions of years. We didn't pick them up along the way. They've been here the whole time. And the response to them wasn't one thing, it was everything. It was fingers and hair at sunset. It was strange pastes made from ground beetles and animal fat. It was shaved heads and borrowed hair. It was mercury and neem and crushed flowers. It was boiling clothes in iron pots. It was community. One person sitting still while another person cared enough to search every strand. Here's the thing that should change how you see this. Every civilization that rose, every empire that conquered, every artist and philosopher and builder and king, they all had lice. Cleopatra had lice. Marcus Aurelius probably had lice. Genghis Khan had lice. The people who painted Lascaux had lice. The builders of Göbekli Tepe, 11,000 years ago, sat around fires and picked nits from each other's hair. And then they got up and built the first known temple in human history. Lice didn't stop us. Nothing stopped us. Your ancestors faced a parasite that reproduced faster than they could kill it. That glued its eggs to their bodies with biological cement. That carried deadly diseases across continents. That thrived in their clothes, their hair, their beds, and they answered with ingenuity, chemistry they didn't have words for, engineering solutions that worked for millennia. And when all else failed, they answered with each other. Hands in hair, patient, gentle, relentless. Winter came at them with cold. Famine came at them with hunger. Predators came at them with teeth. And lice came at them with patience. An enemy that never left, never stopped, never gave up, and neither did they. Tonight you'll probably take a shower. Hot water, soap, maybe some 2-in-1 shampoo you bought without thinking. You'll towel off. Fall into clean sheets. Your scalp won't itch. You won't even think about it. 10,000 years of people fighting, picking, shaving, boiling, experimenting, and holding still for each other made that possible. You're standing on a mountain of crushed nits, and the view is incredible.